Ooh, that new engine smell. I dig it. What's up, YouTube verse? It's your buddy Nick McFly here, doing a video on something I actually have some knowledge on for a change. And that, of course, is road bikes. So today is a very special video. It is the preview slash review of the new Indian Pursuit, or as I like to call it, the Indian Challenger touring model. But we won't hold that against them. So this weekend's actually demo days at my local Indian dealership here in Knoxville. So they're letting me take out a couple of bikes. And of course, first things first, gotta try the new Pursuits, which is what I'm on right now. If you've watched my other videos, you know that I currently own a 2020 Challenger. So in my opinion, that's probably the perfect comparison. Or if you're considering switching from another brand, such as maybe a Harley Road Glide, I've also owned one of those. I had one right before I got the Challenger, actually. So again, another perfect comparison. So this particular model, as you can see right here, and I'll do a full walk around once we get some cruising in here, is the Pursuit Limited. So it's going to come out with all the chromed out additional accessories, such as the heated seat, which is currently on, which I've never had before, and it is about 52 degrees out. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying that aspect of it. And I actually think it's got heated grips as well. It sure feels like it. And we'll go through it and confirm here once we get to a stopping point to do a little walk around. So right off the bat, definitely a smooth ride, but again, that should be no surprise to anybody. Definitely not a surprise to me, coming from the Challenger, as they are very similar. Like I said, essentially this bike is the touring edition of the Challenger. But there are some definite key differences. The first and foremost is the preload suspension settings, which I went through before I took the bike out. And again, I'll find a nice place to park and we'll go over some of the other stuff. But it is pretty badass. I gotta admit, it's all electronic. It's all done through the console right here. But you go in there, you set your weight, you can set your passenger's weight, you can set how much luggage you got on, what the luggage weight is, and the bike will automatically adjust the suspension to accommodate those changes. But like I said, pretty badass, not gonna lie. Little jealous of that one, not having that on the Challenger. But I would not be surprised if they didn't add it to the Challenger later, or maybe I should say I'll keep my fingers crossed that they do. This one, obviously, as you can see, is coming in a pearl blue. And you can see all the additional things right here. And again, we'll go over it. We'll get a little bit of the riding footage in here. I will say, from a personal preference though, if I did have one of these, the very first thing I would do would be change out this windshield. It's definitely nice, but it's also not my style. It's a little big as well, and that's not with it up, as those aren't, you know, if you are familiar or are not familiar with a lot of the newer model Indian motorcycles here, and I got a button right here, you can raise and lower the windshield like so. Man, that thing's tall. But hey, if that's what you're going for, then there you go. And that's standard. Standard on my Challenger, standard on Roadmasters, standard on Pursuits, you name it. I mean, it's got actually pretty beefy exhaust too for stock. And these are all stock parts, all Indian parts obviously, so these are the stock bars. And I gotta say, man, where these put me on the bike is very comfortable. Kind of jealous of that too. I even have new bars coming from my Challenger to help me sit further back. Seat's pretty comfortable too. You know, I'm obviously not going to do a 3-hour ride on a demo bike to really break it in, but first impressions, it's pretty comfortable. Yeah, keep reaching back to hit my heel shifter, which is not on this bike. I forgot I actually had that added to my Challenger when I got it. With all my previously mentioned ankle problems, and you know, I went through my other video, having that heel shifter is quite handy, but I could still make this work. Give it some gas here. And like I said, this is just such a smooth ride. Absolutely. I can very clearly tell the difference with the electronic preload system and the shocks working. I mean, I haven't exactly hit any giant potholes or anything, but I mean, honestly, I haven't felt a single bump. I do have some nice toasty buns at the moment, which that is a welcomed addition. So for anyone wondering, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. I can't remember. I'm not at home to see the little measurement I have written on the door of where I'm at. But as I said, from a seated position, someone my size, if you want to compare, completely comfortable. Absolutely, completely comfortable. I'm not leaning too far forward. And this seat has actually got a very nice back ridge that's almost working as a backrest. So that's also very nice to have. And I was kind of worried about all the additional weight, but so far I've got nothing. Doesn't feel too top heavy, doesn't feel too crazy. Obviously I think it's a couple 100 pounds, I want to say, at minimum at least 100 pounds more than the Challenger, from the simple fact that it's got the lowers, it's got the trunk. And of course, obviously, if you got all that extra storage, you're going to have more stuff in said storage, so that's going to bump up the weight even more. But right now, I mean, look, I can bob and weave just fine. Having no issues on these curvy roads. All right, so this looks like a halfway decent road. Pull over here and we'll do the once around on this bad boy. Okay, so here is the bike in all its glory. We'll do a quick walk around for you so you can see it. And again, this is the Pursuit Limited, so that's why it's going to be all chromed out, have all the nice accessories, all the bells and whistles. So let's start front to back. It's a good rule for life too. All right, so again, it's essentially the Challenger Touring Edition. So obviously the frame and the fairing are going to be exactly the same. We got the lighted Mohawk, just as you do on the Challenger right there. We got the fog lights down below, which is definitely a nice addition. So again, nothing too changed here. So with the Pursuit, we got the lowers here. So again, all right, we'll start up here. We got the fog light button right here. New from 21 and up. So I don't even have this on my 2020 Challenger. My start button is right here, or my power button's right here. On the 21s and up, this is now your tender plug-in. So another addition that I'm kind of jealous of. That would have been nice to have on the Challenger, which of course it is on the 21 and up. So that on button is now here instead, as you can see there. And let's get back on really quick. So hand controls, horns, lights, turn signals, music, all that's still the same. As I just mentioned, the power button's now here, on button, the cruise control, power windshield. And of course over here you got the gas tank, lock buttons for your saddlebags, and of course your storage and another USB port, which this USB port actually connects to your system. So if you wanted to preload some of your routes and such, that's the way to do that, or music. So nothing crazy there. All right, so this is the seats, the all popular seat. So it doesn't look like it's the Ultimate, because it would say Ultimate on there. It is heated, however, which you got those power buttons right here, which you can also control on the dash, which we'll get to when we get that far. Passenger pegs, nothing crazy in here. All right, go to the other saddlebag really quick. So one of the nice features that they have on a lot of these bikes now, including my Challenger, which I did not have before, is you also have, if you can see it here, a little, everyone's got different names for it. I'm used to calling it the cigarette lighter spot. You know, power supply, you name it. So you can actually charge stuff inside your bag as you're cruising around, which is awesome. And of course, the other big difference, the trunk. So that we're just going to push right here, boop, and it is now open. So this one opens up this way instead of sideways. That's interesting. I'm used to seeing them go the other way. And it looks like we have another power outlet. Yep, that's awesome. 12 volt. That's a pretty hefty trunk. You could easily fit 1 or 2 helmets in there. So that is definitely cool to see. And of course the luggage rack on top. And there you have it. That's the walk around. And again, this is, I wonder if its sticker says the color. There you go. So this is Deep Water Metallic. This is the Deep Water Metallic Blue. According to the sticker here, it comes in 3 different options. Black Metallic, Deep Water Metallic, Maroon Metallic over Crimson Metallic. There is a Dark Horse version. They did have it at the demo, and I'll see if I can sneak a picture of that to show you the comparison. Color that comes in is almost like a grayish beige. Absolutely love it. That's besides the point. We're here for this. So I might as well get you a shot of this. Boop. So now what everyone is probably here to see is all the new electronic features. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Okay, so as I mentioned several times during the little ride, the biggest change to this bike that I'm absolutely jealous of is the suspension preload system. So let's take a look at that here. You can go to the settings, go to all settings so we can go through the whole breakdown. So as usual, here's your general, night day mode, all that good fun stuff. All this is still the same as pretty much every other bike that's got any type of, you know, system in place, time, audio, all your good fun stuff. But we are here for the vehicle shock preload. I am not 240 pounds. So this system, absolutely awesome. So we'll go through each one individually and then break it down. So first of all, you can decide if you're solo or you got a passenger. You can change your luggage, no luggage, light luggage, heavy luggage. Same thing on the trunk. Trunk, no trunk, which that's pretty cool. So I would assume then this has got to be a quick release trunk. That's something to look into. So then you're going to go into your edit weights. You could change the rider. If you go passenger, you can now change the passenger. If you got luggage, you can now change the luggage. Same thing with heavy. You can change it all and tweak it. So you can actually set whatever you want and the bike will automatically adjust for you. And then you got the fine tune where you can tweak it just a little bit more if you're so inclined. Which, I mean, that's a game changer, man. That thing is absolutely badass. It turns out when you every time you turn the bike on and off, it'll start back up in solo. So it is something you need to know. And then you can also quick change everything here from the main menu. So say you're in the GPS, you go to your settings. Here you can do a quick change as well to whatever your previously saved settings were, you know, as far as the weight goes. But yeah, as I mentioned, it does have the heated grips, which is cool. It's got the heated passenger seat and rider seat, which is awesome. But there you have it. I mean, it's a beast of a machine, man. If you're going to tour in any lengths whatsoever, I can't imagine a more comfy bike as something like this. As you know, you're looking for a V-twin. But I absolutely love my Challenger. Like I said, I've already hit over 10,000 miles on it. I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever on that bike, and this is just improving on that base. You know, like I said, I was concerned that this might be too top heavy with the trunk. I've always steered clear trunks, but honestly, I gotta say, I didn't even notice it when I was riding around. So it looks like, all right, so it's not quick release. Oh wait, no, maybe it is. So it looks like it might be quick release, but it's currently screwed in down there, as you see by the screw right here, keeping me from taking it off. I don't know if that's standard or if it's because this is a demo bike, but there you go. So that's what those two knobbies would be. That's what I take the sissy bar off of my bike with. There's those two right there. So, but there you have it, guys. The new Indian Pursuit. Again, this is the Limited, and it is one sexy bike and one comfy bike. Never thought I wanted a heated seat till today. Heated grips I definitely have thought about often. My hands get cold first, but can't beat it. Alright, so I'll get a little bit more footage riding this bad boy back. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. If you get a demo days near your local Indy dealership, I would highly recommend taking one of these bad boys out for a spin. Alright guys, let's ride it back. One of the other things I forgot to mention earlier, but I'm just used to having it that I didn't think about it at the time. But for those that maybe are not familiar with Indian motorcycles, this also does have the ride modes on here. So just FYI, so rain, standard, sport, they do make a difference. I could tell you from experience. So rain's gonna take down your torque and your throttle a little bit so you're not spinning out when the ground's wet. Standard's obviously standard. And sport's gonna have that leaning assistance when you're going through turns. It's gonna have a little bit more pickup. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it on sport now. I almost always have my Challenger on sport. So again, just wanted to make sure to add that for those who are not familiar.
Alright, truck's out of the way, and away we go. Hot damn! I'm going to go ahead and cool it down before I end up getting a ticket.
Alright, well we're almost back to the dealership. So if you're still hanging around here, thanks for watching. Check out my other ones coming up here soon. And if this, as usual, if it was at all informative, hey, maybe throw me a like and subscribe. So if you're in the market for one of these bad boys, definitely make sure to check out your local dealer. Or if you're in the East Tennessee, Knoxville area, you can check out my local dealership here, the ones that are so kind enough to let me take these bikes out, which is, of course, Indian Triumph of Knoxville on Clinton Road, Clinton Highway, one of the Clintons. And we'll see you guys on the next one.